during the round robin. That was early on, before something had really, found the groove and arrived even here in Seoul, South Korea for PRX. And now, PRX, they look completed. DRX, they've gone through a couple changes of their own, especially here on Fracture. We're seeing RB playing that Brim for the first time here in Pacific, going for another agent change himself.
Oftentimes, PRX prefers attacker first, but decided to play defender first. First time they did was against DRX. Now, this was PRX's map pick, PRX, and DRX chose to attack first. So they're going to be the ones that have a chance to inflict some damage right from the get-go onto PRX here on the defense, who, again, with the double duelists that they did mention, it's going to be fun to watch Forsaken back on the Neon and see what they got going. Something oftentimes on the Jet, but this is one of the maps where they don't make that happen.
Yeah, and DRX is completely ready for this, but they do get stunned up. I mean, this is the problem when you're going up against a Neon and a Breach. There's so many possibilities of flash and stun combos. Even if you're ready for it, you will just get punched straight up.
Yeah, and you see DRX trying to rotate now, but they run into some Killjoy utility, as now they're just going to go back the other way. But yeah, PRX, even on the defensive side, they oftentimes, especially on a map like Fracture, will be in your face. They will be the ones that are actually attacking you, as Forsaken on the run actually does not elect to go behind the wall and instead just gets shot in the back by Buzz.
Yeah, I mean, he had no idea that Buzz was that close. Buzz actually opening up tower as well. This is all thanks to Buzz being ready to swing on it, and I'm really glad that DRX, instead of having Buzz try to go for this 1v1, they actually peeked first for him. RB watching the flank as well.
Oh, and they have the Viper Orb as well. This is a fantastic setup for DRX as they read the rotation coming out from PRX through their own spawn. And now this is really not going to be easy for Devi and Mindfreak. Don't have much of a chance to make it in as well. Going to open up with one kill for Devi.
Yeah, but there's not much time left, right? And Devi already pretty hurt. That Bako was weaker. But this is a fight against time at this point. Uh-oh.
It's 4 kills. I mean, they're going to hold the defuse. Mindfreak not able to get that kill, though. And Buzz is the hero of the first round as he actually pulls off a clutch, like an official clutch, as he picks up the 4K and stops the defuse from coming in.
Yeah, absolutely huge round from Buzz, because here's the thing. They already lost their Jet. They were a man down. If Buzz wasn't able to open up the first kill, if he wasn't able to open up tower, he would have never been able to flank around through sewers as well. I mean, Buzz single-handedly working this B site for the team and getting them on the board first.
It's really awesome stuff. PRX came out firing, and DRX immediately read the book and are doing a great job.
A 4-spy coming out from PRX on defense.
Well, so much for that. Because, by the way, Foxy9, he was given a Phantom here in the second round, which is not something you always see. He was able to buy full armor as well, so he is going to be essentially the guy that's going to be opening up this site. You don't often see those top-level rifles bought in the second round, but Foxy9 going to immediately open up the killing, gets that first blood in B main.
Yeah, I mean, you can already tell the idea from PRX was, try to get a Marshall shot here or there. If you get a kill, great, but if anything, try to scare them off into the other site. We'll be prepared on A site, but Forsaken got dropped so early on. There was no concern for that from the side of DRX. And then on top of that, I mean, PRX went for this 4-spy, but like you mentioned, Valdez, DRX, they stacked a lot of full armor, right? 4 people with full armor. These Stingers, especially at this range, are not going to do much damage.
Yeah, now you're in a rough spot. You 4-spot. You can't just do the thing where, oh, I have a classic, I'm just going to die to the spike. Like, they probably still want to, but they did kind of waste a lot of money. So they're going to have to try to come in here and actually retake this against a really rough spot where they do not really have the firepower. But Jing at least able to get the kill onto Stacks here. DRX cleaning up the rest of them. Jing does pick up 2, but there's not enough time on this spike, and he's just on the chase. But he does not even have enough health nor time, so he will go down, and DRX will take round 2.
All right, a high-risk choice from PRX, and it does not come back as a reward. They will have to sit back. They could go for a couple of Stingers again if they wanted, Sheriff here and there, and then just match your econ for the next round. Kind of accept that you're going to go on that 3-round loss streak and get that streak cred built up for round 4.
Mm-hmm. See that Buzz kept that Phantom alive. He actually handed it immediately over to Foxy9 and bought his own, so doing a good job for the team, keeping the economy stable and everybody, you know, the key players with the Phantoms to make sure they get the job done. And yeah, we're not at the bonus yet because PRX had to, you know, just save here essentially. They've got 4 Sheriffs and a Stinger. And they stacked the B site this time, but finally DRX looking to make a move towards A.
Yeah, but PRX is going to get here on time. I mean, you already see the Neon is through the smokes. They have a crossfire ready here in Sands. Can they get a kill? No, they cannot. Foxy good for 2.
Yeah, fantastic job. Mind Freak at least was able to pick up 1, but Foxy is going on a rampage, only able to get 3. I say only because the other 2 were charging him. And RB at least able to lock it down here as they will get the spike plant as well. And something able to pick up a Phantom here, so we'll see what he's going to get going.
I mean, he's just looking to do whatever damage he can, trying to get these fights in a 1v1 scenario, but he's not even going to win the first one.
Yeah. Pretty rough stuff for PRX so far. It was noted that PRX have not yet won against DRX in a series. It has not happened ever. And PRX have looked fantastic over the course of this regular season. They've really powered up towards the end of it as well. But yet, once again faced with DRX, they are having a very rough start.
Yeah, I mean, if you looked at the history, I think you would absolutely have to pick DRX as a prediction. But, you know, for me personally, I think this is one of the best shots that PRX has had. They look rejuvenated in this kind of version 3.0 if we look at their roster history. Meanwhile, DRX, while I would say they look stronger in general, if you look at them against any other team, in terms of stylistic composition versus PRX, they've gone a bit more explosive, a little bit more volatile thanks to Foxy 9, and that might work out in favor of PRX.
Yeah. I'm kind of on the same page with you, William, and that's why I also predicted PRX here. We'll see what they can get going, as this time, 4 Vandals, a lot of long angles that you want to cover with those Vandals on this map. Mako sitting back in spawn, he's going to spot this rotation coming in as the fault line now. PRX looking to charge on in there and to catch Mako first. As the Seekers do come out, but they're not actually helping DRX. As something going to pick up another. And Buzz, the only one to pick up 1 for the team. So PRX strike back pretty strong in round 4.
Yeah, I mean, DRX, they were stuck between a rock and a hard place. And they made the correct decision that we have to turn and fight the forces coming out of A main. Otherwise, they would be absolutely pinched and have no idea how to fight. So they wanted to take one fight at a time. However, Mako tries to inch forward, gets stunned. His teammate's not able to help him. And at that point, you're outnumbered in that skirmish. And PRX just with really good trading from both sides as well. Good support from Divine.
Yeah. Very good stuff for PRX. They finally get on the board. And we'll see if they can try to wrestle control back of this map away from DRX. DRX now looking to change up the tempo. A quick rush into Sands through the door, but Devi is here. He has been so reliable for this team. He's going to pick up 2.
There's too many members already here on A side, and Jinx here with the showstopper as well. DRX completely stopped in their advances.
Yeah, they just kind of got wrecked there in Sands. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It was equal firepower. It was a quick rush, but PRX were so ready for it. They had the Neon right there. They used their showstopper, and that's all after Devi picked up 2 just straight-up kills.
Yeah, and the way they set that up is they purposely just leave Sands open. They're not watching from ropes. They're not watching at the door. They're actually just holding sight. You can see on the minimap, Forsaken was already in the middle of that site, ready to provide support one way or the other. And then Jing flies in, allowing Forsaken to move forward and try to check for more members as well. Just really good prep on the A side from PRX. Now they're going to try to push out of Dish. PRX is continuing to change up their defensive default pushouts to keep DRX guessing.
Yeah, I mean, especially at the highest level of Valorant, this is something you have to do. I mean, Team Secret did showcase that you can just rush A site 12 times in a row, and that is a viable strategy because it kind of, you know, it's kind of like reverse psychology. They're not going to expect it. Something you can also do at the highest level, but generally, you want to be mixing and matching. Your mid-rounding is going to be very important. As something is spotted, immediately smokes come down. DRX is looking to push through main.
All right, something is going to play it safe. That is a part that PRX has been missing in the past, but they're regrouping. Now, they have their own counter lockdown. However, RB's going to have his orbital strike as well. So PRX, they're going to have to make their choices very careful. They actually just want to try to push through.
Very questionable. I mean, Forsaken, rather, he's trying to get on in. The lockdown is going to be destroyed at least, but Here comes the rest of Paper X. Jing able to get one. Foxy not really finding the angle early. The spray is messy, and Jing picks up the 3K on the site.
And now they have their own lockdown. It is going to draw out the Orbital Strike, but here's the thing. The Orbital Strike is actually used to just get rid of the defuse. So the lockdown's still going to buy them enough time. They can just stick this.
Yeah, they absolutely will. DRX are running on over, but they're just going to run into a bunch of guns, giving a couple of extra kills plus the defuse if they even needed it on the side of Paper X. So 3 strong rounds now for Paper X.
And what an excellent decision. Yes, Forsaken does rush in a bit too far, especially trying to get over that snake bite as well. Yeah. But the mission was, if we just counter lockdown for lockdown, they still have Orbital Strike. And then if we have to wait, it's not going to do us any good. So we have to get through, destroy their lockdown, and then force the Brimstone to choose between stopping the defuse and stopping the lockdown. They're able to get all of their eggs in that basket they wanted, and Paper X is going to run away with another round win.
It's crazy these rounds are so fast-paced, but Paper X seem to be really rolling with the punches. You know, they're so good at this kind of Valorant where it's just round after round, really, really quick, not a lot of downtime. Mako, though, is going to shut me up immediately as he essentially solo dry peeks into A main and picks up a 2K.
Yeah, Mind Freak does try to recover. He has good awareness. He knows that if they're trying to peek into A main, the other possibility without any contact on B has to be Dish. Tries to smoke that off, but DRX is going to make their entry. Foxy 9 survives.
Yeah, both of these two guys taking a little bit of damage. DRX with the plant coming down. A lot less ultimate potential in this round as they've used it in the past couple. RB making noise as that door opens up, just trying to hold from the back side of main.
Yeah, I mean, this is just trying to keep Devi busy, right? DRX, they have the numbers advantage. They just want to play with time here. And Forsaken, he's only going to get one.
Yep. Stack's able to hold it down on the site. And it's all up to Mind Freak. And they already get some information about exactly where he is. So this should be a pretty easy cleanup. Stack's 3 kills. And DRX take the lead once again.
Yeah, nice attempt from Paper X, but DRX plays that very wisely. RB already getting into post-plant positioning as well with the lineups. And then he's able to continue to hold that main position where Mind Freak, I mean, he's pressed against time, right? He knows he's pinched. And this all starts with Mako. I mean, they talked about him on the desk as well. If he's able to pop off, I mean, who is willing to stand up against that guy? He is so clutch for DRX.
And a timeout called pretty early on here by Paper X. DRX finally came back. It was their first round they took in the last 4. And yet, Alex is going to immediately put a stop to that and say, well, I was not happy with the way that round went, and I'm going to smack my desk a little bit and tell my boys about what they did wrong.
Yeah, curious to see what the feedback is here, right? I mean, you still had your own 3-round win streak, and off of that, I think probably Alex holding off on the timeout for a bit to see, okay, you know, did the adjustments come in the way I wanted them to long term? However, part of it was, right, they tried to creep out with no sound on A main, and they end up getting caught in this no util peak battle, and Mako's just able to win that duel. I mean, sure, all credit to Mako. Amazing shots. Not many people would be able to get both kills there. But if you lose even 1-1 as the defending team, you're actually in the disadvantage, right? You're always going to be outnumbered on the site. So curious to see what Alex's decision is on these push-outs. Do you commit more utility to secure that part of the map?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think that Paper X in the first bunch of rounds, even though they were losing, I liked their tempo a little bit. And then eventually DRX started coming at them quickly, started getting very easy control of the sites. And even though the retakes were pretty good from Paper X, maybe Alex not 100% happy with the initial parts of the rounds. Smaka going to throw that up once again. Devi going to start off with the first kill. There's a lot of action here in Arcade, and Devi, again, is just holding it down by himself.
Yeah, but Forsaken is stuck now. Because of the Seekers, and the Flash, he wasn't able to get out of this range. Oh, and Buzz assumes that he would have gone back into sight. Mako there to trade that out.
Yeah, at least Forsaken able to trade one, but yeah, not the best spot for him as he did get trapped, as you mentioned. DRX now looking to get onto the site here. They want to get this spike down, but it is not easy against 4 members of Paper X who have already made their way into the site, and Mako's just going to run away with an operator.
I think he's just going to throw it out, unless they have plans to use it, but I doubt they will. Yeah, he just wants to make sure. I mean, this is already damage done. That's 4,700 credits down the drain from Paper X. These are the small things, though, that end up snowballing towards the end, especially when it's this close.
It's just pretty funny to see
seconds left.
him just dump it off the side of the map. He's like, I don't want this crap.
Doesn't hesitate at all.
Oh, God. Well, he's dead now.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Is it going to happen again?
The knife, get him!
As it always does.
Yes, the knife kill in round 8. The mental damage already done.
I mean, yeah, and especially for a player like Mako, I mean, he is not often put in a position where he could get knifed. That is not going to feel good, but if there is anyone that can regain their focus, not get shaken up by that, it's got to be Mako on the current DRX roster.
Yeah. Good start here from Devi. He's holding the site down as the Killjoy, and they don't really catch him there as he's watching Arcade. Nobody really even checking for that angle. So he essentially shut down the attack before it even got started.
Yeah. Turret's destroyed.
All right, so continue to push out of Dish. I mean, it looks like maybe they're just deciding it is one of the easier paths to take with that fault line. Just seat 2 people. Oh! Bit of a miss there. I mean, sure, it is weaker firepower, but no hits at all.
As okay, some of those long-range fights coming in once again. Mako finally gonna kill someone with that weapon, and now the rotation coming out from DRX towards A. We do have something heading into main right now. He's gonna spot this relatively early on.
He's got to watch out, though. If he loses, they pick up a Vandal.
Well,
he has no plans of losing it, let me tell you that.
a couple of headshots, a little spray onto RB at the end, and he makes quick work of the team, who are essentially running into his open arms. So nicely done by him to hold down the fort.
And now, ult's all online for PRX, right? And 2 away for Devi as well. I mean, they could very easily use one of these from the get-go just to gain space, just to force a rush out of DRX and then retake with the other ultimates as well. I mean, this comes into the macro strategy of how many rounds do we want to absolutely guarantee in the first half. If you want to get to at least 6 or 7, you could use 2 or 3 ults in this round.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you want to secure some of these orbs, and looks like they're slowly, well, I say slowly. Actually, PRX have just totally taken the backside of the map, so they know it's got to come from the front, from the main side, as B-Main is going to be rolling thundered and pushed back for now, so DRX will have to reset as Mako does take a big bunch of damage.
That Rolling Thunder pretty much kind of saving DRX from the orbital strike as well. I mean, obviously they were hoping that the stuns would keep them in line, but they were already on the back up. Now Devi, does he peek? I thought he was going to get 2.
Well, he's at least able to get the information, only picking up that 1 though. Foxy knows that a lot of them are up there at rope. He's just trying to hold it down pretty aggressively as the team gets this plant down. Foxy able to get 1, but doesn't expect the swarm of the rest of them. Jing able to pick up that kill.
Yeah, but now they have to get through the pit, and they don't have much to work with. They have a single boom bot to gain info. It's going to be so crucial on the angle he throws this in.
It's like he's bowling. He's like, oh God, like what is the exact angle I want on this thing?
Mako just playing it as safe as possible. He knows his teammates are holding from main. They can spam this from main as well, but for PRX, the biggest assignment is to find Mako, and they just cannot do it.
Yeah, not quite yet. Buzz, a fantastic flick already, and PRX, they're just gonna hold on to their guns. There's just not enough time. I thought maybe they really try to force it. They have so much money right now, but I mean, you're going up against nano swarms, a Viper's pit, like it's really rough. So playing into a Killjoy and a Viper, they just elect to back off and give the round over to DRX.
Yeah, I mean, of course, you always got to consider there's that extra element, right, when it comes to kills and deaths, the ult orbs, and Buzz only 1 point away. Stack slowly trying to build up. I mean, ideally, you don't want another Seekers to come before the first half ends. That lockdown most likely going to happen this round or the next.
Yeah. Pretty close stuff so far here on Fracture. We do have the teams tied up 5-5. And even though it seemed like PRX came out swinging very early on, DRX immediately kind of settles it down, forces PRX to play their game. And their entries have been quite strong and clean. Although, something's getting some of the angles from time to time. So good to give DRX the credit that they deserve as the push out here from PRX. Mindfreak going to pick up the kill on a Buzz.
This is such a smart setup. Now they're going to check that it's... Oh, but Foxy9 wins that duel! I mean, Forsaken actually had no intention of staying. Something.
This angle from something is so smart. He picks up 2, and he did his job, right? Even as this plant comes down, fantastic stuff. And now Device got the lockdown to try to retake this. Should be pretty easy to the side of PRX as Mako goes down as well. Yeah, it's all up to RB.
I mean, nowhere he can go. They know exactly the only possibility is that he has to be here in tower. They are trying to swarm him out, and he cannot get a kill.
Yeah, poor guy. Had everything in the world thrown at his face. Lockdown, molly, pain shells, what have you. But PRX, it really just comes down to something just lurking on the edge of that cloudburst and getting those 2 kills as they come in.
And also the setup they had right before this, right, where they were able to pinch onto Buzz. What was so interesting about their push out on the north side, as we were watching those amazing shots by something, was the fact that they adjusted their fault line to catch him before he jumps on the ropes, right? Before they get spotted by the turret. So this is an entire adjustment just to make sure DRX's default setup on the north side doesn't work. Now in the last round, DRX says, well, you know what, it's the last round anyway. We are just going to go for a rush. I think RB, this may be an orbital strike.
Let's see it. Gonna hold on to it for now.
Oh, it's just the molly. All right, they push him out from Chance, and he's watching the flank.
Yeah, Forsaken just sprinting through, and this flank coverage from RB is gonna hold on to it, but Jing is in a really good spot to so much to RB, who's just running away with the spike. He's like, never mind, I didn't want to fight you anyway.
What an incredible series of events. Can they get in to plant, though? Oh, no, the spike is down.
Spike is down. They still have time, but Devi and Mindfreak are holding on, and that's going to do it. PRX will pick up a 7th round on the defense and take that slight lead going into the half.
I mean, that time, both teams kind of reading each other, right? DRX just wanted to go for a fast push. They still leave RB to watch the flank, and he was ready. That way he could see for his post-plant lineups as well. Forsaken comes out swinging, but unfortunately the spike was dropped. That was the biggest problem. The one kill that PRX got initially on that flank was against the spike carrier, and at that point, the rush just didn't hold much meaning. You had to come back and regroup on the side of DRX.
And
oh, wow, a fan from Seattle that's been cheering for 2 years in the past for DRX, and now they're here in Seoul to cheer for DRX in person.
Yeah, the 11-hour flight to get here is, I don't really envy that. Done those and longer ones to New York, but yeah, it's rough. But that's true fandom to come all the way down and cheer in person. And yeah, it's a really close series so far. Got to give credit to both of these teams, but DRX, definitely the pressure is on with that slight deficit. Curious to see how their defense is going to look with the double controller setup, the Viper and the Brimstone. Not something you see all the time, but I feel like it should be strong here on defensive Fracture. There's a lot of angles to cover, and I want to see how they control it.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is on the attack, obviously, if you can get the plant down, then Viper and Brimstone, you know, they've got the just post-plant lineups for days. However, PRX accurately, you know, recognize that, and they shut down the advances as early as possible. Not too many chances for those lineups to come in handy. Now, as you mentioned on defense, it's really going to come down to, you know, what are the setups from Viper? How much more can you really cut up the map into smaller pieces so that you can use it a lot more easily? And as some of the fans are saying, I mean, this match, it's to get to the grand finals first. It's to secure your spot in the Changchun Arena in the stadium, you know, next weekend.
Yeah, definitely. If you have an opportunity, you'd love to sit back and wait and watch the lower finals and see, you know, the strategies that come out, the maps that get picked, how the teams are playing it, and kind of just prepare yourself mentally for that matchup. So definitely a big boon if you do win this matchup. It's not just all about pride. And in the case of PRX, it's not just all about getting that first win. Although it would be huge for them if they could get it here and not have to deal with losing, I think it's like 5 or 6 times.
It would be their 5th, yeah, I think. They're 0-4 against DRX right now, and Buzz, they're trying to sniff this out. Oh, he cannot find the kill!
What is happening? Juice is up there in tower trying to hold it down with a knife and a shorty. It's not going to work out for him, as he used a lot of his money just on utility, I guess. Now it's all up to Foxy9 alone. Mindfreak, I think, picked up 3 kills at the end of it all. And might get another one. Nope, Divine picks it up with the Sheriff. And PRX now in a lot of control, picking up a quick pistol round in this one.
Yeah, and you could just tell how aware PRX was, right? Even for seeing him purposely sprint jumping into the smoke to make sure he doesn't get shot right away. I mean, so wise here, and then his team. I mean, that's the most agents I've ever seen in a single smoke, by the way. They're just all partying in there like
five
it's a rave.
of them. Yeah. Because the entirety of PRX as a team charged through the smoke, and then you've also got Buzz in there with his, I think it was Buzz. It was just one of them.
Yeah.
Who had the shorty and was just waiting. And then tried the knife because, well, once you use those 2 shorty bullets in the first round, you're not in a good spot. Here comes Foxy trying to get some information. The Viper wall is set up here in A main, and PRX want to take it slow.
Right there.
And DRX did hear the rope, but PRX, they're just waiting for this to drop. They want to get the jump on him as soon as the screen goes down. Oh, and they get that first kill.
Oh, nice check from something as well. Not going to allow Foxy to be cheeky in that corner. 3 kills already. PRX looking to take a fast anti-eco as out comes RB. Does a bit of damage to something. Gonna take his armor down, but it's not a lot of value here for DRX.
Spike planted.
Oh, and Jing hears this. He hears the sprint, I think. Yeah, he's aware that someone did go through sewers, just trying to figure out which direction it might be. So Forsaken gets the call. He's now waiting over by Dish.
Yep. And okay. Well, a couple of quick shots with the classic is good enough. But Jing will clear that up. Only 1 death. And it was Forsaken, the first guy out to check the guy with the classic. PRX 9-5.
And Orbital Strike now ready for Mind Freak. This is going excellently for PRX here in the second half as they go on the attack. I mean, they could very well just launch this on the get-go. I'm curious to see if DRX, if they're just kind of giving space, right? Aware that if it's PRX, they could very well just dump the Orbital Strike to gain space on the entry.
Yeah. Definitely an option. You see a bunch of pings are coming down, a generator on B. Maybe they want to just rush on in, use this quickly. The blind comes in.
Go get him.
Sewer control taken. They're not going to rush it just yet. As I say that, though, Jing is running into them. Makes his way all the way into Canteen.
Oh,
and 1 orbital gets 2 in the tower.
They have no exit. They trap them in a way.
1 enemy remaining.
That was so cool. And now it's PRX looking to take the bonus. Buzz has to go 1v2, and yes, he has a Vandal, but Phantom here for Devi, and Mind Freak just gonna win it with the Bulldog. This guy is heating up, 3 kills again. And PRX are kind of just stomping him now.
I mean, what a setup, by the way. If I'm not mistaken, hopefully we can catch on the replay. I think the Aftershock was used in default position on the site in that little corner. So that way they just had nowhere to go off of the Orbital Strike. I mean, it was either stay and just fight this massive force running in through main, get hit by the Orbital Strike, or get hit by the Aftershock. There was nowhere for those 2 members to go. What a set play for specifically for a bonus round.
Yeah, a bonus round. You've got Orbital Strike that's going to lock those 2 people down. Just really, really cool stuff from the side of PRX. And right now, it feels like they are the team that deserves to win this map. Let's see if DRX can make some kind of comeback because, again, they lost the bonus, so they're in a really rough spot here. PRX looking to come in quick into Sands. Not rushing anything, though. No, they're going to be facing a lot of sheriffs and stuff like that, so they don't want to run through this Viper screen just yet. And take it slow and check all the corners.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know that toxic screen is on a gauge. You can always return to the site, try to time it again when the screen goes down if someone keeps sight of that. But the fact that they are all exiting tells me that they're taking advantage of the fact that they have the better firepower to collect as many orbs as they can. Really secure that 1 extra guaranteed round win and then go for the strike.
Yeah, they're looking to entry here, but actually not going to go for it. The Viper smoke comes up, and now they're rotating out again. I believe that orb was taken as well and be made, so just like you were saying, William, very important. This is one way to bolster your economy even further, and now they will once again look to push on to A.
Okay, Forsaken has no idea that he's being tailed. Devi's way too far. He needs to run through spawn immediately. Does Mind Freak run over to B? Okay, that's the call. Devi says it's been cleared out.
Yeah, I mean, the Killjoy is down as well, and everything on B is just taken out. There's nobody there. It's not a lot of time, but enough time to get this plant down. Not going to waste time with this one. Oh, the long-range fight, and Devi's going to win that one against Stacks. A very important one to hold down, and now it's all up to RB 1v2.
This is something that we were talking about before the show started with the members on the desk as well, in that, I mean, if PRX can start hot, right, if they can keep up that momentum again, yeah, I mean, Devi's looking so good. Something's been looking great. I mean, Jing's flight path, we saw it earlier, Forsaken playing for his team as that entry. His flight path, yeah. Jing is the best pilot in the world.
It's true, though. He's been flying through the air. Like, that was so cool to get on the site. He does die immediately, but, you know, just raise things. And, yeah, I mean, look at this. Devi, he baits out the peak with the turret. You know, he knows that RB can hear it, so he has to clear that out. Low on health as RB, so Devi's got the other angle. Clears him out through the generator. And now Foxy9 says, well, it's time to throw down and pick up an operator here on defense and try to bring this map back.
This is their last hope, right? I mean, they're doubling down. They just don't want to give up match point. If they lose here, all hope is lost. They just have to prep for map 2. But if they win here and they can continue the operator, things may change.
Yeah, well, it's a Neon that he's trying to shoot out of the sky. That's not going to help, and they're charging him down on the site.
Oh, my
Forsaken
God.
picks up 2, and this is a total clean sweep on the B site, as this will immediately spark a plant, and DRX are in a rough spot to retake this.
The setups from PRX are so good.
Out of here.
Oh, hold that thought for now, though. The round's not over.
Out of charges.
Doggo going to be taken out, Forsaken on the run. Buzz on the re-entry, but something's holding from Arcade. A rough entry because you got to check so many angles here, and Devi is just lurking in main. It's all up to Stacks now, 1v1 against something.
He's going to stick to half.
Oh,
but
no.
the shorty and something will get match point.
Yeah. One shorty and a dream. Doesn't matter that something is playing Breach. He doesn't have to play Jet to get value out of that.
Yeah, apparently not. He'll always still get the jump timed perfectly. And, I mean, again, the setup was Forsaken. You're given a mission to clear out this potential operator. And the fault line comes into sight after Forsaken has pushed him out. So that Foxy9 was dazed. I mean, he had nowhere to go after that dash was used. Just really good awareness. And now 4 ults lined up again for PRX. Sure, DRX has a couple of their own as well, but PRX is in prime position to close out this map.
12-5. They're looking to make it 13-5. Here comes Forsaken. Gonna get stunned up on his way in. He is drawing a lot of attention there at main as here comes Jing out of Sands. Not able to hit anything, but Foxy does get the click on the Forsaken. And that's going to be huge, but still PRX looking to clean them up.
Yeah, but Foxy was not stunned. He's still holding this angle, so Sands is held true for now. If they can push PRX to be, the Killjoy is there, but the lockdown comes in, and DRX, they don't have an answer for this.
Yeah, this is pretty rough. I mean, you see Buzz with his lockdown over on B. He's not in position to answer this, and they just got to run out and give the site over to PRX. Mako wants to be the clutch guy once again, but this is almost too much to ask from him.
I mean, you definitely have to use a lockdown, but the question is because if you use it here, it's way too far out, right? You want to try to inch closer, but Mako being so low, it's way too risky for him to just play bait.
Flash out.
And PRX are just playing sight. No funny business. Mako not able to clutch it, and PRX takedown Fracture. Their map selection, and they stomp DRX on this first one. They